Jim Hobson here in the bunker, as well as Taylor Shire. The big news in the CFL is the firing of Jason Maas this morning, and Clark has just informed me we've got Eskimos linebacker Don Unamba with us on video chat. So I'll invite these guys to put their headphones on here as we bring in Don. And I know, Don, this has been booked for a few days, so this was probably news to you this morning. You're clearly at the Eskimos facility. What's it like up there right now this morning?
Man, it's crazy. I'm actually not at a facility right now. I'm at home right now, but it's been crazy. It's kind of been a shock. I mean, you hear the rumors all the time, and you kind of just try to block that stuff out. But it's a sad day in Eskimo, man. The players enjoy playing for them, so I've been getting text messages, and we talking about it in group chat. But man, Moss took care of us out here, man. So it's a shocker a little bit.
I apologize that when I first saw you, it looked like you were in the locker room, and now I see that it's a flag behind you, so it's all good.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned that it's a shock to the players. I think the players truly do like Jason Maas, and I know Jason, he's a good guy. When you went into the playoffs, was there any talk amongst the players that if we gotta do something here to save the coach's job, or was that even a discussion amongst the players?
No, that wasn't a discussion. We just, went in trying to win a ball game or whatever. Moss was real positive the whole time. We were just focused on just trying to win the playoffs, and we had a plan. We was going to win the Grey Cup, man. That was the thing going in. It wasn't no talk about trying to win him his job. That never came up at all.
Talk about the season with the Edmonton Eskimos, if you don't mind. We were watching closely. I was calling you guys the under-the-radar team in the CFL all year long. You go 8-10 and you cross over. And then that was like you caught fire at the end. And take us through the season that you guys had up there.
Oh man, our season was it was crazy, man. It was a little up and down. We dealt with some injuries. We had some key players down, including myself. Didn't plan on getting hurt the first game of the season. But yeah, we did. We caught fire at the end at the right time. We felt like it was almost destined for us to go ahead and win it all. Getting into the getting into the playoffs, going into Montreal, a team that was hot themselves and riding on the wave with Vernon Adams and them playing real good football. And we went in there and won. And man, we went into Hamilton thinking we was going to do the same thing, and just came up a little short in the East Final.
What didn't work in the Eastern Final? In Montreal, it seemed like everything seemed to go your way. You played a tremendous defensive scheme, but the Hamilton game didn't seem like you guys had control of that game at any point.
Not to discredit Hamilton, and that was a really good football team, and it was 15-3 for a reason. They made plays when they needed to make plays. They made some tough plays, some contested plays, and we didn't. We had a couple turnovers at hard times. Field position was off a lot of that game. And like I said, good football team, and they made plays when it counted.
Did you watch the Grey Cup game, by the way, or did it hurt too much and you thinking that you should have been there?
It hurt, but I watched it, man. I checked it out.
What did you think about it? What's your breakdown of that game and how Winnipeg won it?
Winnipeg dominated the game defensively, man, especially with that front that they had. Willie Jefferson and Jeffcoat had some crazy games, man. It was crazy to watch. Like I said, they made plays too when it counted. They had so many turnovers, man. It's hard to win games when you have turnovers. Strip sacks, gave them good field position and scored. The interception at I think it was like the first or second play of the game. They had a good running game, and Hamilton seemed to have a little trouble stopping the run game, and Harris had a crazy game too as well. So, I mean, it's football, so you have to show up on every game, no matter who it is or, what wave you was riding on before. Winnipeg came in a better team that day.
This is Eskimos linebacker Don Unamba with us. Don, you mentioned to our producer, Clark, that you had spent some time with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. What do you remember about that time? What was going on with this franchise at that time?
Oh, man, I think when I came in to Saskatchewan that year, they was 0-7. I got a phone call from Chamberlain, who was the head coach at the time, and he wanted me to bring in, give him some spark on special teams, and come in and play. I actually played a little will linebacker that year too. So, and it was kind of a gloomy time, man. I had been used to Saskatchewan being one of the better teams, and defensively especially. And, man, they were just going through a bad time. And right after that, I think 2 games after I got there, Chamberlain was released. And, who was the forgot who the head
Bobby
coach
Dice
was.
came in.
Oh, Bobby Dice. Bobby Dice came in as the head coach. And, man, we was trying to, get the momentum that Bobby Dice had gave us, riding with him. So I think we had kind of won a couple games. And, yeah, man, it was a crazy time. Right after that season, I think that's when they brought in Chris Jones. So it was a crazy time in Saskatchewan at that time when I was in.
I'm just running through your resume here. St. Louis Rams in 2013, Bombers 2014 and 15, Riders in 2015, as you mentioned, Ticats 2017 and 18, and then the Eskimos this year. What's your contract status for next season? Do you know where you're going to be?
I don't know where I'm going to be. This was a contract year. I only signed a 1-year deal here at Edmonton. We just, had the news with Maas, being fired, but those type of things cause a domino effect sometimes. So it's up in the air right now. Obviously, we have to see some other things that go on. And, man, you just never know when stuff like this happen. I've dealt with this all my career. So, again, I'm in the situation again. So we'll just have to see what happens, man. I did enjoy my time here at Edmonton. I would like to be back. But, it's not always up to me. It's some other things that go into it. So we'll just see how it plays out. There'll probably be other news made too soon.
Well, I'll just lastly ask you this again for your thoughts on Jason Maas's firing for those that first joined us. When you found out this morning, were you shocked?
Yeah, I was shocked. Like I say, you hear rumors, and I mean, we've all seen it. You get on Twitter, you can't help but see it, and you see fans say certain things. But just the realization of it actually happening is a shock still. Jason Maas and the atmosphere and environment that he built up here and created was over the top, man. It was real family knit up here and real tight. So to actually see it go down, it really is a shock.
All right, Don, I appreciate you coming on. Anything else you want to mention before we let you go?
Oh, no, man, that's cool, man. Thanks for you to have me on here. I know we joke around on Twitter all the time, so to actually get on here on the show is kind of crazy.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, and hopefully, hey, when you sign with somebody new, come here and break the news with us. Would you do that?
I got you, man. I'll send you a tweet.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Don.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.